Hey everyone, welcome back to Women in Sales Leadership. I'm Amy Evans, and today we are talking about something that probably makes you a little uncomfortable, and that is talking about your wins. Before we dive in, if this episode topic resonates with you today, if you struggle with talking about your wins and you know it, then you probably know somebody who also struggles with talking about their wins. And my request is that you make a gift. Share this episode with a friend. Take a second and shoot it over to them right now, because every single woman needs and deserves to hear this, because I promise you that we all are struggling with this. You are not alone. Okay, here's why this matters. The Harvard Business School and Wharton did this study where they had people complete a test. They took a test in this study, and then they rated their own performance. Like, how did they think that they did on this test? So it was men and women, both in the test group. And the men and the women who took the test, they basically performed the same. They got roughly the same exact scores on this test. And in fact, women did slightly better on it. But when the men and the women were asked as part of the study to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 100, how do they believe they performed on this test? This is what they said. Men rated themselves at a 61 out of 100. Women rated themselves at a 45 out of 100. Remember, they both performed the same, and women actually performed slightly better. Ouch. Okay. So this is a 16% gap for equal performance. And everybody knew in this test, in this study, that their self-rating would be shown to potential employers who would use it as a barometer on whether to decide to hire them and how much to pay them. And even though the people that took this test, the men and the women that took it, they had every incentive to rate themselves accurately, and still women rated themselves 33% lower, even though they had the same results as the guys. Yeah. The researchers found that this gender gap in self-promotion meant that women were significantly less likely to be hired and earn significantly less than equal performing men. Oh my God, we know about this, okay? Your reluctance to talk about your wins is literally costing you money and opportunities. I am going to help you today. We are going to work on that today. So today I'm going to teach you how to change this, how to talk about your wins in a way that feels so authentic, and it actually gets you seen and noticed by the leaders that matter and who can have a positive impact for you in your career. So grab your notes app or your voice memos, jump in. We are going to do this. Here's why this is so hard. This isn't your fault. This is absolutely a product of conditioning. Research shows that women are taught to downplay our accomplishments. You are taught this, and you downplay your own accomplishments. But if you were talking about a friend and how amazing that friend is, oh my goodness, you would have no problem talking about how awesome your friend is, right? Men aren't affected by this modesty challenge that women have had the way that you are. You were praised for being humble, for sharing credit, for making others feel comfortable. And the backlash that you fear about sharing your wins and coming off as a braggart is real. Women get penalized more in performance reviews when they self-promote. And it happens sooner for women than men. That's why you're afraid. Maybe you've experienced it, maybe you've seen it before, but this visibility gap is really getting in the way for you. In fact, women are even 20% less likely to promote themselves on professional platforms like LinkedIn, ring-a-ding-ding, right? Women getting promoted aren't always the best performers. They're the most visible, honey. You've got to make yourself visible. So if you're staying quiet, you're staying invisible. So you need to feel seen, You need to help show your own value, and hiding this from yourself, shrinking this away, it really denies you this. So even if you're afraid of talking about wins, sometimes we get worried that that's going to damage our relationships, that people are going to feel like, oh my gosh, she's so much, you're so much. And the cost to you in that Harvard study that I just talked about is real money, real hiring decisions, real promotions that are lost. And you can literally be leaving money on the table, babe. And I know you don't want to do that. So here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do right now. We're going to have a mindset shift. When you share your achievements, you're providing data, just facts, baby, not bragging. So it's like this weather test. If somebody were to ask you right now today, what is the weather? And you say, it's 72 degrees and sunny. Are you bragging about the weather? Hell no. You are stating a fact. When you say, we closed a $2 million deal, that's stating a fact. No different than stating the weather. And here's the actual difference. When you're bragging, the intention is to talk about yourself in a way where you feel superior. You're trying to make other people feel inferior. And that's gross. Nobody likes that, right? However, sharing facts, providing information that decision makers really need to understand your value is completely different. Here's another reframe that can help you. When you share your wins with others and in front of other women, you give them permission to do the same. It is a gift you are offering. It's this door that others can walk through. It's a contribution. So when you stay small, you're modeling the wrong behavior, which I know none of you want to do. I know you don't want to do because you're a leader. And there are people watching you. There are other women that are watching you. There are other leaders who are watching you. So every time you own your wins, however, you make it easier for the next woman, for your colleagues, for your friends, right? You're not just managing your career, you're changing culture here. This is what we're up to. We don't just manage ourselves and lead ourselves. We're leading others around us. Hey, quick break for a second. If you are a sales leader who is ready for your next step up, and I'm talking about leading other sales leaders, becoming a director, a VP, even a CRO, then this is for you. I'm hosting a free workshop. You can grab your spot at amyevanscoaching.com. This is for sales leaders who are in tech and are wanting to land jobs where you can earn anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million a year. And again, you can grab your spot at amyevanscoaching.com. Okay, back to the show. All right, let's get into how this happens and how you can really do it, right? I'm going to give you this framework. It's so freaking easy. I'm going to give you this simple framework that works in every situation. It's called what, why, and who. What, why, and who. Okay? Simple. What happened? The results. Start with the objective facts, the numbers, and the outcomes. No hedging or saying something like, oh, we got lucky. No, you didn't get lucky. Like that example, like an example could be like my team closed $5.2 million in new business this quarter. That's a fact. Reporting reality. No qualifiers, no we got lucky, a bluebird came in, no story around it yet, right? This is what happened. And this is what makes a difference. Being clear and factual instead of maybe downplaying it like, oh, we had a pretty good quarter, or, you know, we had this deal that we got lucky that landed. Nothing like that is going to be impactful for you. Talking about the facts goes so strong in your favor. So what, just simple up, what is it? What happened? And then connect it to why. Why did it matter? Connect to the broader business impact. And this is where you start to show off that you are a strategic thinker, that you have executive level communication skills. So let's play this out. Like, what does this look like? What does this feel like? So we closed that $5.2 million, which put our division at 115% of plan and contributed to the company hitting its growth targets. Bam. That sounds pretty freaking amazing, doesn't it? Yeah, because it's true and it's what actually happened. Now you're not just sharing a number, you're connecting that win to something bigger. You're connecting it to the dots of what your leadership cares about, what the company cares about. And you begin to be seen as someone who thinks strategically. Then we get into the who. Who helped? And this is where you can let go of the, it's all about me and feeling uncomfortable, right? You do everything with the team. I get it, but you are leading the team. So the who part is who helped, who contributed. So sharing that credit without minimizing your own role. And this is what it sounds like. So easy. You can do this. Here's what it sounds like. I'm really proud of how the team executed. And especially insert the name of somebody who you thought did a standout job, especially the superstar who closed that enterprise deal. This addresses this modesty norm while it still owns your achievement of leading the team, right? So it's the what, the who, and the why. Actually, I got that out of reverse order. Let me say it again. What, why, and who. That's it. 3 parts. So easy to remember. So next time you are in a one-on-one with your boss, and I would invite you to take this on this week. You have a one-on-one. It's probably happening once a week with your direct boss. And an opportunity you have is to practice doing this, right? Okay. So I'll give you just like a sample, like so real world, one-on-one with your boss. What does this sound like? And this sounds like this. I want to give you an update on the strategic account review that I led last month. We identified $3 million in expansion opportunities across our top 20 accounts. So that's the what, which position us well for Q2 growth. Ooh, that's the why. The account managers, or AEs, really stepped up in presenting their strategies. Who? So this is how you do it. What, why, and who. And that's simple. How did that sound to you? I'm going to say it one more time so you can get it. I want to give you an update on the strategic account review that I led with the team last month. We identified $3 million in expansion opportunities across our top 20 accounts, which positions us well for Q2 growth. The AEs are really stepping up in presenting their strategies to me. Bam. That's it. You can do this. You will not mess it up. The only mistake you will make is not giving it a try, okay? Now, if you really want to go for some gold, you can choose to start to post on LinkedIn. Something like this. I just came out of and that post sounds like this, right? I just came out of a strategic account review with my team last month, and it was so powerful. We identified $3 million in expansion opportunities across our top 20 accounts, which positions us well for Q2 growth. That I am so proud of my team. They really stepped up in presenting their strategies. Now, if you're worried about saying numbers on LinkedIn, you could pull the numbers out and just say the rest of the statement and put it on LinkedIn. Why? It's a chance to just, again, provide some expertise for you, some authority for you. And look, I don't know a sales leader that isn't always recruiting and wanting A player talent. A players want to play on an A team. So for A leaders, A plus leaders, right? So an A plus leader is talking about what's working. They're talking about who on their team is performing and what they're doing to move the needle in their organization, right? So right now, you can choose to think of one win that you've had. And this win could be this week. It could be in this past month. It could be in the last quarter. It doesn't have to be that huge. Do a little practicing for yourself. What's one win? I know you have one. There's no way you don't. You have one win. You have something that went really well. And practice the what, why, who right now. What was the win? Why was it important? And who contributed? Okay. You can do this. I see you. I see you doing this. You can so do this. You can write it out. You can say it out loud. Get comfortable with how this sounds and then start using this language for yourself. Where do you need to start using this? Okay. I already gave you the first one. It's your one-on-ones. This is a non-negotiable for you. You ought to be showing up and opening up every single conversation with your boss with a win of the week. And that can be like, hey, let me tell you about the biggest win that we've had this week, right? Show me a leader that doesn't want to hear good news and things that are working for you and your team, right? Not that you only want to identify positive stuff. You do have to talk about what's not going well or what you need support or help with, but show up with a win right away. And it'll set the tone for the conversation. It'll get your leader in this mindset of you are somebody who delivers wins and creates wins for your team. So this is non-negotiable. Your boss is never going to remember everything you do. But when promotion time comes up and you have shown up consistently week over week saying, let me talk to you about the win of the week. Let me talk to you about a big progress that we made this last week. You're not committing a forecast. You're not getting yourself in a position that you can't get out of. You're not backing yourself in a corner. You're talking about something that was a success. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this will just set a tone for your year. Okay. Team meetings. Oh, don't miss a chance in front of your team to give a chance to acknowledge and create opportunities to identify wins. It really changes the tone of your team when you start to talk about what is working. Now, look, we're not going to sweep the challenges under the rug and ignore them. However, identifying what is working is a way to create behaviors that will become emulated throughout your team. So don't ask and don't wait to be asked to share in front of your team, either your directs or on your big team meetings with your boss. So you've got your one-on-ones with your boss. You probably are having a team meeting weekly with your boss too. Show up with the win. Don't be afraid to repeat it in front of your team. Why? Because your colleagues are probably struggling with the same thing that you just figured out or the win that you just had. And it's a chance to be a leader in your team and demonstrate that you show what's working and how things are working for your team, right? Okay. And then, this is the one where you really could expand your network. You can show up in front of your network in LinkedIn, at industry events, in conversations, and say, you know what, there's one thing that I'm just so proud of this week or this month or this quarter that my team did and that we did. What, why, who? It's a chance to practice speaking this way. And then some of you are getting ready to have a Q1 check-in on your performance review. This is your chance to control the narrative and control the story about your performance. You get to write the review like you are building the case for your promotion, because that starts right now. Don't give yourself a 33% deficit against guys who are unafraid to talk about their wins, because you can absolutely do this. One thing that I do myself, I keep a wins journal. I write my wins down every single day. I resisted journaling. I didn't want to do it. I used to journal when I was like 10, and then I journaled when I was 20. And then there were like a decade or 15 years in there where I was like, who the hell has a time for journaling, right? What's interesting that I've noticed since I've adapted doing journaling on a regular basis is it takes me 10 minutes, 10 minutes that I would otherwise be screwing around on social media, scrolling around. In 10 minutes, I can identify 3 wins that I had from the day before. I can go through my gratitude that I have for the day and I can create a plan for 3 wins that I'm going to create the next day. And it just allows for some acknowledgement of what did work in the day. Of course, the gratitude that we all need, and then an opportunity to create a vision and visualize how the next day can go really, really well. This is what makes a difference for settling your mind, settling your heart, and then acknowledging the truth of the amazing work that you are actually doing every single day, right? Handling this fear. So some of you might be still feeling some resistance. You're like, Aim, yeah, this all sounds great. I've heard this before. I still don't like it. What if people don't react well? What if they think I'm too much? What if they find it annoying, right? You can't control anything about what other people think. You can't control what they do. The only person you can control is yourself. And the one thing I know for certain, and this data I just shared, this study with Harvard at the beginning of this conversation is so real. You not talking about it is hurting you. It is costing you. And it's not just costing you on the career front, because that's something you can like measure with dollars and cents. Like you earn a promotion or you earn a pay increase or whatever it is that you are trying to go after. It costs your mental health. It costs your confidence. And I am so passionate about this topic because I know so many of you out there are so damn impressive. And we have to fill our cup up with a reminder of how freaking amazing we are. And the one way to do that is to give yourself these facts of the wins that you actually have produced for yourself on a regular basis. And so this is the challenge. You can't control what anybody else thinks. You've got to manage and lead yourself always and every single day. And this is a secret. I'm letting you in on a secret that people who really make progress. Leaders can't advocate for you if they don't know what you've done. They will look at a leaderboard and they'll see your name somewhere on it, and you could be way over 100%. But guess what? Maybe there's 6 people above you who are also over 100%. The only thing that's going to distinguish you from them is how you talk about yourself and how well they know you. And they know your story. They know how you work. They know what you're doing. And the way you do that is to talk about your wins. Every week, do it in a one-on-one. Open up with your wins. When you get on a team meeting with your peers, don't be afraid. Hey, this is what's working for my team. Your other teammates are going to be grateful that you're sharing something that's actually working for you, right? This is not you being arrogant. It's you providing clarity, and that's an absolutely important and critical leadership quality. So the 30-day challenge that I have for you is to start sharing your wins. Do it twice a week if you can, at least once a week. The what, the why, the how, and start to notice how it feels for you. Notice what happens. Probably nothing bad happens and only good things happen. You will start to get more visibility. You're going to start to feel more confident because you're reminding yourself, like, yes, I have done this thing. I am a badass. I am amazing. Look at these things that I do, right? It really helps drive your own confidence and your mental health and well-being, because confidence isn't something that we wait to feel. It isn't action. It's built in action. You get confidence by doing. And every time you share a win, you're building that muscle. So you're closing that gap of women being afraid to share their wins. So let's bring this home. So this research is clear, but you are not going to be one of these statistics because you just learned how to take control and to begin to share about your wins in a really powerful way. And remember that when you talk about your wins, you're not bragging. You're just telling the truth. You're telling the facts. So we get into the what, the why, the who, It's clean, it's memorable, it's effective. You share your wins regularly, you jot them down, and you practice until it becomes something that just feels natural and normal for you. You have worked too hard to be changing yourself on the wins that you already have. And if you're ready to go deeper into this work, I am opening up a limited number of exclusive career planning sessions that I'm gifting to podcast listeners. One-on-ones where we will get together and map out your specific path to get to what that next level role is for you, and we'll create a 90-day action plan. You want to book that meeting with me at amyevanscoaching.com. And again, share this episode with another woman that you know who has a hard time talking about her wins. Send this link to her and tell her that you thought of her. This is how we all rise together. So please, I produce this show myself, and your support means everything to me. I want to thank you so much for listening today. Make sure you're following this show so that every time we drop a new episode, it's right there waiting for you. If you want to leave a rating, oh my goodness, that would be so powerful. And I want to, again, thank you for being here. So go close that gap and make yourself more visible. I'll see you next time on Women in Sales Leadership. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining today. I know you're a super generous person, and a gift that you could give to someone you know, a friend, a colleague that you think would enjoy today's episode would be to send them a text, share a link to this episode with them. I do produce this show myself, and every time you share it, it helps the podcast grow and it supports the work that I do here. Also, if you happen to be a sales leader who is ready to take your next step up into a leader of leaders role, whether it's via promotion or you're ready to go and get that new job at a new company, I'm talking about director roles, VP roles, even CRO roles in B2B tech, where you can earn $500,000 to $1 million or more. The workshop I'm giving is an hour-long workshop. It's totally free. You'll learn the process that I teach my clients on how to effectively position themselves, effectively network, and own their executive presence so they can land the job and get hired and promoted into these big sales leadership roles in B2B tech. If this sounds like you, come grab your spot. It's waiting for you at my website, amyevanscoaching.com, where you can unlock what's next for you.